go. These are some bright lights. David, welcome. Thanks, everybody. Stick around. This is the final content session on the scale stage before we do the global pitch competition winners. So do stick around. The pitch competition is going to be awesome, and we're privileged to kind of wrap up the scale stage and the main content here. Talking about unlocking opportunities, how global growth technology is shaping the future of work. As Matt said, I'm Alex, CEO, founder of SaaStock. And I'm joined today by David Anderson, who's a cloud architect at GP. David, welcome. Welcome to SaaStock, and I think your first SaaStock, right?
Yes, thank you, Alex. It's been brilliant. I mean, first of all, congratulations on a fantastic event. The energy is just infectious, so I really enjoyed the event. And first one.
Thanks. Good. Hopefully first of many, and for those of you here as well, if it is your first, we hope to see you back next year. David, I guess for those kicking it off, like who don't know, tell us a little bit about yourself, and then also like GP. If people haven't seen the big GP booth, but you know, like if they're curious, you know, about yourself and what does GP do?
Sure. Well, I'm an architect, a software. I design the systems. And I'm based in Belfast. I joined GP about a year ago, so I've had a really great time. And what I think has been fantastic about GP or Globalization Partners is the mission of the company. And it's really 3 words: hire anyone, anywhere. And I think that's such a compelling mission. So it's really, there's a lot of technological advances in GP over the past few years. And really, if any company needs guidance when you're hiring staff anywhere in the world. So what GP do, they're the pioneered and kind of recognized leader of that worldwide. That's what I call the global employment industry. So we have like kind of world-class compliance, which enables you to hire anyone, anywhere in the world. And every time I meet someone and you tell them what GP do, they're like, wow, I didn't realize that was a thing. So this idea of the employer of record, it's for me, it's quite kind of pioneering in the industry. And as I learned more about GP, GP have been doing this for the last 11 years and are kind of the industry leaders in that. A few stats as well, but it's been a really exciting time for me just to see what the company do.
We'll come on to employer of records in a second, because it's actually a term I only really heard about like a couple of years ago and seems to have exploded. But in terms of maybe some of the data points around GP, because it is quite you've been around for 11 years, but it really a rocket ship, certainly over the last sort of few years. It's a big business, right? Can you give us like maybe some insights into how big and fast growing the business is?
Yeah, absolutely. And I wrote figures down because I can't remember them all. I mean, it's so the ARR in 2022 was $300 million. So there's 75% year-on-year revenue growth.
Yeah.
Our prediction for 2023 is 400 million plus. That's what we're kind of tracking towards. We had an evaluation in, I think it was January 22, of $4.2 billion, which is huge. And it's really, like I say, it's all the industry analysts have put GP as the kind of the leader in this category, which we effectively created. We support customers in 180 countries over the world. So we've something like 150 different currencies that we deal with, and something like 100 plus entities. And GP ourselves, we're a remote-first company. So we've got something like, I think we've employees in around 40 different countries. There's about maybe 1,200 employees. And it's headquartered in Boston, and the European headquarters is actually here in Galway. So it's kind of nice for me. There's a nice kind of local element to it. And what I found is really cool is our founder, Nicole San, wrote this book about a year ago called Global Talent Unleashed. And again, one of the things that I really love, and you can get this at the booth out in T1, is how clean the vision is of that kind of, you know, hire anyone, anywhere. So I think that's just really compelling for me, and it goes on. There's a huge amount of detail in the book.
So, employer of record, or EOR, like you know, over the last couple of years, loads of people talk to me about EORs, and I was like, what the heck is an EOR? And then I've just seen the kind of the space explode, or you know, during COVID, and there's a lot of EOR companies, but you guys have been around for 10 years. So, like over that time, can you again, maybe just explain what an employer of record is, like? And then over the changes, you know, over the last 10 years in terms of the world of work, you know, how has this technology, you know, impacted, I think, you know, the overall process of hiring people abroad?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's fascinating. Like, it was news to me. I mean, I started working in the mid-90s. I remember sitting in executive teams where we thought, you know, if we're sitting in Belfast thinking, can we hire someone in Dublin? I mean, how much hassle is that? Or could we hire someone who are like 50 miles away? I think with COVID, with the change in the kind of digital economies, and with the technology advances, you can just see there's a whole new digital economy opening up. So really, the question is really, as a company, why can you not hire the best talent anywhere in the globe? If there's brilliant designers in France, in Italy, in Vietnam, or in Brazil, or wherever, you should have a right to hire those individuals. And that's really, and as you do more stats about the desire for this, something like, 4 in 5 employees want to work for a global company, and a lot of companies want to be global. So the idea of employer of record is that if you're sitting here in Ireland and you want to hire someone in France, what we will do is help you with the contractual part of that, the compliance for local labor laws, any of the payroll activity, benefits, the whole thing. So effectively, we would effectively hire that individual, but they work for you. They have a full-time permanent contract with you. You can also do contractors as well, but it's primarily kind of permanent workers. So for me, it's it's really part of the HR tech umbrella.
Yeah. And I was asked this question this morning, and the question was, can a winning SaaS company be born anywhere in the world, right? And we've seen attendees from 55 different countries, founders from American Samoa, I don't know if they're here, and Moldova, and pretty much name a country out of 55, and they're here. I guess these sorts of technologies and the way that the world has developed over the last couple of years, that with work from anywhere, remote work, digital first, or whatever you want to call it, it does seem to be enabling, and this sort of tech enabling SaaS companies that can be founded anywhere, but then you can hire talent from anywhere in the world. What are your thoughts into, I guess, kind of in that question? Can winning SaaS companies be born anyway?
The thing, I mean, even like I worked in Dublin for many years, even the war for talent in Dublin is difficult, even hire someone locally in Dublin. So think of that anywhere. I always thought as a software engineer, you maybe felt slightly disadvantaged not being in Silicon Valley or somewhere else. So I mean, if you had this opportunity now to work pretty much for any company in the world and live where you live, it's just such a dream, because then you can assemble your globally really talented team from anywhere. It's not just technology workers, it's anyone at all. So I think the freedom that gives companies is incredible. I spoke to many founders, and people will say they've maybe spent the last year trying to stand up an entity in a different country, and the amount of effort maybe CFOs will put into standing up your entities, when you could effectively hire that job from GP. It's like again, as a technologist, you shouldn't build things that you don't need to build. So hire capability from other companies, from partners. That's the whole idea of the cloud. You hire things that you don't need to build. If you want to hire 2 or 3 people in a country, just let us do that for you, and we can take the burden away from you.
You've undoubtedly, over the time, seen a lot of changes that revolutionized the industry. Maybe can you talk a little bit to that?
Yeah, well, I mean, I think as we started as an employer of record, the challenge was really about how do we help a company hire someone. But I think now that we're going into our 11th year of doing that, we've started to see that there's a broader kind of play, which we're addressing with our GP Meridian suite. And it's more about, it's not that companies just want to hire someone, they also want to find the right people. Kind of service them and help them as employees, and do many other things. How do you pay them more creatively? So that's kind of opening up, and we call it our sort of, we introduced a new category a few months ago called Global Growth Technology. It's not really about helping people hire someone, it's about helping companies grow globally using technology. So we did a little work with McKinsey. We reckon this is a market that's worth something over $150 billion. It's a huge global market. And really this idea of what we've effectively done, we've unbundled our own product into several different areas, including like insights. How do I find the best country to work? Advisor, just maybe direct advice. Marketplace with integrations. The employee, payments. Libraries for documents, entities, and mobility. So we've broken that into several kind of products within our kind of suite. And again, we're kind of industry leaders in that. So for me, the whole idea of that enabled by SaaS has made that possible with a lot of our technology stuff and a lot of our kind of product-led thinking.
I mean, given that you have a category, which is, I guess, employment of records, but you've created a new, like, what is the strategic thinking? And obviously, you talk 50 billion market, that's pretty attractive, right? But it'd be interesting to see how you sort of like come to that. But yeah, what is the thinking behind creating a new category when you're already leading one?
Well, for me, it's really about, like, we're a product-led company. And I think we speak with our customers, we figure out what they need, and we started to think that there was more customer need than the straight employment. So we could see the need, and I would say it's unfulfilled need. So how can we kind of grow the category to meet that need? So that's really it. Like, and again, with the technology advances, we can build faster than ever before. So that means, I think we've got one thing we've done this past few years is have I'll be biased here, is have a very kind of sort of advanced cloud strategy. So the technical system that we're building to enable this, I think, is second to none. So that really can enable us to kind of accelerate and bring new products to market.
I'm not sure how many talks on the scale stage haven't spoken about AI and ChatGPT, but we're certainly not going to buck the trend here, right? And I guess with the generative AI, that is here now, and is the next kind of big step change really for the industry, and ChatGPT as well. How are you seeing that within your industry or within your specific product and company? To helping, like, I guess, kind of advance the business and streamline also, international expansion and recruitment?
Yeah, it's a great question, and I mean, I think what's happened with OpenAI over the past year has been incredible. For me, a good technology strategy means that you can take advantage of new technology quickly. You're not locked in by kind of something that was point of time. And for me, like, I've been working with AI technologies probably for around 10 years now, so I've worked with many different types of solutions and types of AI. But really, if we have 10 years of data, because we effectively, first of all, we physically set up in all these countries and set up these entities, and we have a lot of kind of, I would say, unstructured data. So it's the perfect opportunity to bring all that data together and kind of provide insight, turn data into insight. So just actually last week, we announced our Global Intelligence Assistant, or GIA, which is a generative AI kind of model that will help our customers as they kind of navigate through our kind of Meridian suite. And it's really about, how do we help our customers make the right choices? Because it's quite complicated, the industry we're dealing in, and how do they compare different countries or different ways that they can solve the problem. But bring in AI to turn our data into insight and right at the point where it's required, where it's needed. I think that's the piece for me. I always feel that AI should augment your key capability. It doesn't replace things, it augments what you're trying to do. So I think that our GIA model will be a great kind of differentiator. And really what it's doing is it's improving customer service.
I mean, given your role within your cloud solutions architect, you've worked with AI, you mentioned 10 years. Do you foresee that in the next sort of year or two that there are going to be any SaaS or cloud companies that don't have AI within the product?
I don't think so. I mean, the nice thing about like, one of the things that some people would miss, AI has been about for many, many decades. It's really the cloud that has enabled the massive advancement that we've seen the past few years. It's the fact that now people are willing to use the cloud, willing to have their data in the cloud. That unlocks the power of AI. And now with what you see with the big cloud providers is they have out-of-the-box AI services. You don't really need to hire an AI team to include AI in your product set. You can maybe use one of the managed services from the cloud providers. So really, I think as a company, if you're not augmenting your key IP, your key kind of differentiator with AI, I think you're missing a trick.
Lastly, GP released recently the Global Growth Report. Can you maybe share some of the key findings from that, and also like where can people find the report?
Yeah, so we've been working on this report over the past few months. It's the Global Growth Report, and you can find it on our website, g-p.com. And we were doing this over the summer. We talked to something like 2,500 executives from large companies. And it's a really good read, actually, strangely enough. And I think it'll be really good for this audience, really kind of relevant. And there's 4 kind of key areas in the report. The first is what they call the state of the everywhere workforce. And something more than half of employees worldwide are looking for a new job. So there's still kind of, demand in the market and then a lot of those employees are looking to work for a global company. So people do have that global mindset. The second one is attracting top talent. More than 3/4 of executives say that finding skilled talent in the markets is a problem, and they see hiring internationally as a solution. So there is demand to grow globally. The third is the ideal qualities for leaders. This is something that I really resonate with. Over half the employees list the ability to adapt and remain flexible. Things like problem solving, empathy, all the things you see in good leadership. We're seeing those rise again and again as important qualities. And then the fourth is leveraging AI. I mean, 93% of employees are excited about AI. A huge amount of executives are looking to see how AI can be a differentiator. So to your last question, the demand is there, that people want to bring in AI. And then even locally, with UK and Ireland, people are thinking about rising inflation, competitive marketplace, talent shortages. It's all kind of points to that kind of global growth. So it's a fairly short report, and it's just there's 4 key areas with a nice kind of summary. So it's definitely worth looking at. Like I say, it's a free download at g-p.com.
Awesome. Well, look forward to reading that. And if people want to, I think we're out of time, but you come up and speak to yourself or some of the GP team. Where's the location? Where do we find you in the main room?
So we're just on a T1 in the booth there, and the team have lots of swag. There is a couple of books left if you want to grab one of those, and we have a nice bag. So please come and talk to the team, and we'll tell you more about our GP Meridian suite and our global growth technology.
All right. Thanks very much, David.
Thank you. Thanks very much.